Happy Monday, guys. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault, at Sports Talk Matt, to follow me across all socials. The podcast is sponsored by OmahaSteaks.com. You guys are going to go to the customized URL, OmahaSteaks.com/juice. You guys get 4 free chicken breasts and 4 free pork chops just for doing that. Minimum purchase may be required at OmahaSteaks.com/juice. Okay, so yesterday was the lesson in hedging. Not a good day, but a profitable day. So is it a bad day when all the bets are wrong, but you're profitable? I don't know. Winning money is what matters, right? Record doesn't really all that matter. Well, how many units? The idea is to win money, right? So we won money yesterday, won about 0.9. Both prop bets went down. That was a bummer. Kittle got going late in that game, but San Francisco and Seattle, moneyline parlay hit. And the Chiefs, if I had laid 4 units on the Chiefs' money line, which I thought about doing, we would have come in and had a much bigger, would have been like about a 6-unit win there for the Chiefs. Instead, we just win 4 units, which I'm not going to ever scoff at, okay? But the worst case scenario came through. Zay Flowers is going to have a really hard off season because, man, that fumble at the end zone, I don't know. Maybe they would have come back. Maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. But that was a huge play at the goal line. Awesome punch out by the Chiefs, forcing that fumble. Flowers with just, and then the interception in the end zone. I don't know what was that throw by Lamar Jackson. That made no sense to throw that in a triple coverage. Blew the game. I mean, turnovers are the game, right? 3 turnovers. That was the story. That's, good teams win the turnover battle. And the Ravens lost the turnover battle. And that's why they lost that game. So kind of a bummer, kind of a thud way to end that future, because we rode with it for so long. It was so fun, but we hedged off of it. And that's the whole point of hedging. When you have an 11-1 like that, you hedge off of it. And, it wound up being a winning day because of it, because we had the 4 units on the Chiefs at plus 4.5. I tried to middle it. I tried to get cute. It didn't work, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And that's the beauty. Now, where does that leave us in the futures market? We've got the future bet on Arizona. We have the future bet on Creighton, and we have the future bet on Marquette. I'm going to shop around this week, and I'm probably going to add 1 or 2 more, and that's probably going to be it here as we head to February. We start to have a better idea as to who could wind up being in Arizona for the Final Four. And we'll start to take a look at that, because that's the next really big future. And then once we get kind of closer and into March Madness, then we'll start looking at the NBA, and we'll start looking at what's going to happen for the NHL. We already have one 27-1 ticket, but we'll look to add, right? More on hockey. And then we'll get to baseball. It's kind of, we have 1 football game left this season. It stinks. But at least we have a ton of college basketball, a ton of NBA. I got 2 NBA picks tonight. I got 1 college basketball pick tonight. But I am going to tell you right here, I'm going to give you a Super Bowl future right now, or bet for the Super Bowl right now that I have already made, that I think is worth jumping in right now. This game, I like this game. I've seen so much hatred for this game. I like this game. Look, get over the Taylor Swift stuff, guys. Okay, get over it. Who cares? All right. Yes, she's shown too much. And yes, they're not showing her for us, okay? And that bothers us as guys, as football fans. I get it. My daughter's 9. She's watching the game. Where's Taylor? Your girlfriend, your wife, where's Taylor, right? I get it. It's annoying to all of us who watch the sport all the time, and a lot of Johnny-come-latelys are coming in who aren't watching the game for anybody but Taylor Swift shots. That's annoying. I 100% agree. And they only show the good stuff, never show the bad stuff. I want to see Taylor when they're losing. I want to see Taylor, if they lose the Super Bowl, show me Taylor Swift. That's what I want. But they don't do that because they're afraid of offending the Taylor Swift fan base, because they're not football fans, all right? The people who are there just to watch Taylor, you're not watching football. You might stumble your way into liking the game, which is fine, and more the merrier. But your attraction to watching this game is because your favorite pop star might be shown on camera for a split second or 2, right? But we all generally have to get over it, okay? It's 2 weeks to the game. Got to just kind of get over it. But I don't think this game's a blowout either way. I think this is going to be a tight game. And so the number settled at 1. I took this at 1.5, but I'm going to give you guys, I took it at minus 120 when it was a 1.5 point number. I saw it crashing. It opened up at 3. It just fell. Like money came pouring in on Kansas City, which is fine. I think that's fair. I think this game should be a pick 'em. All right. I think this game will wind up going off as a pick between the Chiefs and the Niners. But at 1, where it is right now, I can tell you to do this. I took it at 1.5. I got over 7. Tease the Chiefs up. Chiefs plus 7.5. Take the total down to 41 and go over. Minus 130, 6.5 point teaser. All right. I think we're going to see points. I think we'll see offense here in this game. I don't think it's going to be an extremely low scoring game. I do think there's the chance that the Chiefs, look, Casey scored 14 points against the Bills on the road in the second half. All right. They scored nothing in the second half against the Ravens. The reason why these Chief games keep on going under, it's also the Chief defense is a huge reason why. And it's 19-1 now to it was 21.5 was the second half under. 19-1, that run, everyone will be on it. I'm telling you right now, everyone will bet that. That'll be one of the most popular prop bets going into the Super Bowl will be the second half under. But it's the Chief offense that's not very good in the second half. Now they get a lead and they sit on it. What happens if they're losing at halftime? Can they sit on it? I don't know. Are the Niners going to be able to score more than the Ravens did? I don't know. The Ravens had multiple drives that just ended in turnovers. So, if Zay Flowers doesn't extend the football and make it available to be punched out, if he does just kind of a barrel roll there and, they walk into the end zone at 17-14, different type of game. 17-10, again, I don't think that's how the Super Bowl is going to go. I'd be surprised. I think the Chiefs will be able to move the ball. I don't know if they're going to have the same. Look at what the Lions scored a lot. Now there's going to be massive conversations about what Dan Campbell did, going for it on fourth down multiple times and missing on it, and then not kicking field goals when he had a chance to do so. Look, I don't know. Dan Campbell didn't kick field goals the entire time. At least he was consistent because I was yelling at my TV set. Like, can somebody in the NFL please realize that if you're down 2 scores that the clock is the most important thing? Like, he scored a touchdown. Like, bravo, you covered, Dan Campbell. If you'd kicked a field goal with 3 minutes to play, you would have had 3 timeouts, down 7, with the 2-minute warning. You would have had 4 stoppages of the clock. You could have gotten the ball back and scored a touchdown. Instead, you just were like being so stubborn, like, we got to score a touchdown. All right, dude, you lost. Like, all you did, you played yourself into a cover. Congratulations. So your fan base is happy they covered. Everybody in Michigan who bet the Lions at 6.5, 7, and 7.5. You guys all covered. Great. Your coach did that for you. But the idea is to win the game. If the idea is to win the game, the clock is the most important thing. Hold on to that darn thing. Make sure you have enough time for the comeback. So when you're on the 30-yard line and there's 3 minutes left and you have 3 timeouts, kick the damn field goal. Kick it, then here's the thing. You don't have to onside kick then. You can kick it deep and play defense and get the ball back and try to score a game-tying touchdown. And then maybe you go for 2. I don't know. It's like all these guys are all analytical this, analytical that. And then when it comes down to like basic football strategy, they all fail. And again, you covered. Congratulations. I'm happy for you, Lions fans. You covered. But like, if you want to win the game, what are you doing? Keep the clock. That's the most important thing. Not, you got to score 7 when you're this deep. No, you don't. You need to score twice. Oh, the field goal is easier. Really? So it's easier to get the onside kick back, which is like 1 for 100 this year in the NFL, if you score a touchdown because you bleed the clock all the way down and you take up so much time because you had to get that touchdown. Okay. It didn't work. Maybe it would have worked my way. I don't know. We'll never know. But I don't understand that principle. That's how I would have played it. If I'm a head coach, that's how I'll play it. The clock is the most important thing. I got to save time. Kick a field goal. But didn't happen. So we lost on that bet. But we're up 0.9 on the day. So that's not bad. But here's the prop bet. Yes. The teaser for the Super Bowl. First bet for Chiefs, Niners, Chiefs plus 7.5, over 41. Okay. You can go the other way. You can go under if you want and say it's going to be a mimic of the Ravens game, but I don't think so. I think both teams are going to score here and maybe, it goes over in the first half, or I don't know. I think we're going to see offense, neutral field and whatnot. I think we see offense for both sides, both the Niners and the Chiefs. So 1.2 or 1.3 units officially. So it's a minus 130 teaser, 6.5 point teaser. Chiefs plus 7.5, over 41 for 1.3 units. All right, to tonight. That's a 2-week bet, future wager. And, I'm going to have other bets. Okay, I'm going to wait and see. I think we could very well see this game go off with the Niners as dogs. Like, it's right now -1 for San Fran, but this may go to pick or it may flip to +1. Good shot this thing goes. I think my gut tells me the closing number will be KC -1.5. That's what I think the number will be at kickoff. We'll see in 2 weeks. But that's my projection. KC -1.5 at kickoff. Okay, let's talk about the biggest game tonight in college basketball. Texas hosting Houston. 36 Longhorns on KenPom against the number 1 team in KenPom, the Houston Cougars. On the road, last game out, Texas lost 84-72. They're now 3-4 in the Big 12. They are 14-6 overall. Yes, this game factors into our trend. Lose on the road, come home dog. Look, I bet against Houston against BYU, and it burned me. I'm not going to lie. I'm afraid of this bet. The number's 5. KenPom has this as an 8-point win for Houston. However, pace of play is a big deal here. KenPom has this as a 132 final score. You look around, and this game very well, the total is anywhere from like 129 to 129.5. That's really, really low. And I get why it's really low, because both these teams play at a snail's pace. Texas, 239th in adjusted tempo. Houston, 350th in adjusted tempo, okay? It's just, but here's the weird thing. Their games aren't just like automatic unders. You might go, well, just bet the under. Okay, 5-3 Houston on the road, 7-5 Texas at home. Last time out against BYU, game went over. The last 2 home games against Baylor and Central Florida for Texas went over. The last road game for Houston against BYU went over. Now, you could say TCU and Iowa State both went under, 129.5 and 137. I don't mind a play on the under here, but I'm worried. Normally it's under and dog. I think I feel more comfortable not having to sweat out the last 2 minutes with free throws and going like, oh no, do we have it? 130, 128, 129. Like, I don't want to get into that because it's so darn low. I think, and I know 14-6 to the under on the year for Houston and 9-11 Texas. I think the better play is just looking at the point spread and looking at Texas at home. And I totally understand Texas is only 3-9 ATS at home. Okay. But they need this. They need this. It's going against, Houston here, who's 3-5 ATS on the road. They've covered 3 of their last 4. Texas hasn't covered they covered 1 time in the last 5 games. I fully understand this. But they match up fairly well against each other. When you start breaking down the numbers with KenPom, Houston's offense is 14th in efficiency, 73rd defensive efficiency for Texas. Effective field goal percentage, Texas 84th defensively to 194th. For Houston, 105th in 3-point percentage, but 213th for defense for Texas. But here's the real fun one. 2-point percentage, 248th to 58th for Texas defensively. They got to get after the boards. As we know, Houston is an offensive rebounding machine. They throw the ball up, they go get it. But Texas offense, 25th in efficiency. Yes, number 1. I get all the numbers for Houston are stupid, okay? Number 1, adjusted efficiency defensively. Number 1, effective field goal percentage. Number 3 in turnover percentage. Number 8 in 3-point defense. Number 1 in 2-point defense. Number 1 in block percentage. Number 1 in steal percentage. Just the best defense in the country, bar none. But Texas plays the same way. They play slow. They play defense. I think Houston wins, but give me the 5 points. I'm taking the home dog. Texas +5 here in a Big 12 dogfight at the Moody Center in Austin, Texas here. Rockin' atmosphere, in-state rivalry. Give me the home dog. Texas +5 for 1.1 units. Okay, 2 bets to the NBA that we go. Let's talk about Milwaukee on the road at Denver. The number is 4. Milwaukee on the year is 18-27-1 ATS. They are 8-13 ATS on the road. Now, Denver at home has not been great. They're 11-10-1, and they haven't been great over their last 10 games either. They're 3-6-1, but I think it's time for Denver to start playing well. They beat Philly at home, laying 8. They won by 6. At home against Indiana, they won by 8. Against New Orleans, they won by 12. They've won 4 straight games at home straight up. And the number being 4, yes, I know the last game for Milwaukee, they looked great. They were at home against New Orleans. They won the game by 24 points. They beat Cleveland by 10. They lost to Cleveland by 12. But this is when you see Milwaukee coming in, you get Denver's attention. I learned something about Denver when they played Boston on the road and they won that game outright as 7-point dogs. That's the last time they covered, by the way. When the big boys from the East come up against Denver, this is when they lock in. This is when the crowd gets into it. It's a home game. It's a short number. It's only 4. I'm going to lay it with the Nuggets. I'm going to lay -4 with Denver here at home. I know the numbers aren't phenomenal here for Denver, but I think this is when they do start to really look at, all right, we play Boston, you play Milwaukee, you play Philadelphia. They won. They beat Philadelphia in the last game. Chance to beat Milwaukee here. Numbers only 4. I'm laying the 4 with the Nuggets. Denver at home, -4 up against the Milwaukee Bucks. And I'm going to go to the Eastern Conference to look at the Celtics against the Pelicans. Boston was 20-0 to start the year, straight up at home. They lost to the Clippers, and they've lost to the Denver Nuggets in their last 2 home games. They got annihilated in their last game, lost by 19 to the Clippers. Porzingis didn't play. He is expected to play tonight after rolling his ankle in the game against Miami, where they won against the Heat by 33 points. They killed the Heat. They came back relaxed, and they got crushed by the Clippers. You know that Joe Mazzulla has been all over this Celtics team, been just eating them alive after what happened. Boston is 13-9 ATS. Yes, the number's high. It's 8. I get it. But I think Boston's going to blow the doors off of a Pelicans team that lost on the road in their last game by 24 to Milwaukee and at home to Oklahoma City also by 24 points. They lost to Phoenix by 14. Sure, they beat Utah by 29. But in 3 of the last 4 games, the Pelicans have gotten crushed by 14, 24, and 24. I think Boston goes off and has a monster bounce-back win here at home. They're not going to lose 3 games in a row ATS, straight up even. I think this is a chance for Boston to go and put up a number here against the Pelicans. I don't like New Orleans. They're walking into a buzzsaw here with the Celtics. Call it a homer pick, but you lose 2 straight home games? Nah, can't see it. I'm going with the Celtics. -8 for Boston at home up against the New Orleans Pelicans. All right, 3 bets for tonight. Texas at home +5, Denver at home -4, Boston at home -8, all for 1.1 units. And a teaser for the Super Bowl, same game teaser, 6.5 points. KC +7.5, over 41 for 1.3 units. Much more to come in the Super Bowl as we head towards the big week. Again, this week is not that crazy. We'll have everything rolling here for the week, but then we get really crazy. I'll be on Radio Row. I don't know how often I'll tape the juice from Radio Row, but probably from Radio Row, I'll tape it a couple of days as we get rocking here for Super Bowl in Las Vegas for the first time ever. How about that? Niners and the Chiefs. A whole lot of red heading to Las Vegas. My name is Matt Perrault. Follow me across all socials at Sports Talk Matt every single morning. The Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.